I actually got out shooting on Sunday, which was really nice, a breath of fresh air. I took that walnut bow with a bit of recurve on it that was hoping to be a flight bow to see how it would go, and it really threw an arrow out a long way. First arrow, woof. Second arrow, similar. Third arrow, I thought I'd try one of my slightly heavier ones, about 1/4 of an inch longer, but they're all nominally 28. That went well. Fourth arrow, bang! Exploded in my hand, but broke very symmetrically. Just shows the importance of good tiller. But not quite sure why it went bang, but at that point, hopefully you can see there is a bit of a knot. It all looks fairly dry. I think it probably fractured across the back. The other limb actually broke a whole section out. That fits in like that, and there are some slight crizzles showing just sort of here, but whether the back broke and then as that came out it crizzled, that could just be it popped this section out the back. It does look very dry, but who knows, it's almost impossible to work out the sequence of events, but the fact that it broke symmetrically was, I thought, quite nice. Anyhow, while I was there, one of the guys, Don, wanted me to look at this bow he's been building, and he's got to a point where he doesn't quite know where to go, and wanted me to have a look at it and sort of get it back on track for him. But just looking at it straight away, well, he says it's bamboo back and belly with hickory in the middle. Looks a bit rounded on the belly, but just looking at it, it's hard to see, hard to show camera really. Perhaps you can see this limb looks to be thinner there. This is the back, that's the belly. Looks to be thinner there than here. In fact, I can feel it. That's the thin point, and it swells out here, so it needs wood taken off there. The other limb's taken a bit of set, and again similarly you can see, I think it carries on tapering, but maybe goes a bit parallel there. Now what you need to remember is when you rough out a bow, you normally rough it out to just a nice even thickness taper, but that's only the rough out. The theoretical and practical taper actually goes fairly linear and then starts tapering more and more and more over the last third. So it's, you know, what's the difference in rough out and a genuine taper? So I suppose I should put it on the tiller and have a look really. Right, you can see it's a very long bow. I think it's 79 inches or something, but that's actually a good thing because it means you can always cut some off the ends. But before we even start looking down the bow, there's a hint of set there and perhaps a whisker there, but let's see if we can actually see what's going on. So right, we start flexing it, and immediately we can immediately see, yeah, it's that limb's working, isn't it? That limb's working, this limb's doing what's technically called bugger all, except for there. Nothing's happening here, not a lot there. That's, you can see it's thinner there than it is here. Shot left limb's not bad, but we're only pulling, what, 30 pounds? To me it looks like that classic case of someone who's tried to make a bow before looking at it on the tiller. Right, I've been editing the video And I realise what is glaringly obvious to me isn't obvious to someone who hasn't got their eye in and isn't used to this. So, and now I know I can pull the bow to 40 without it doing anything ridiculous. I'll flex it nice and rapidly back to and forth to 40, and hopefully that will, you know, really show what I mean. There, you see, when, so I'm not quite pulling to 40, but if I pull to 40, hopefully you'll see that as being obvious like I see it. That's what I see immediately, just pulling it a little bit. But yeah, perhaps that's... So yeah, that left limb does move quite nicely, but hopefully you can see that this isn't doing much here. There's a tiny bit of move in the handle. Hopefully that's a bit more obvious. Yeah, I mean, my criticism probably sounds a bit harsh to people, because they, well, that looks all right to me, but it's getting your eye in and sensing those imperfections early. But the real key thing here is the draw weight. You should be pulling a bow to its full target draw weight until you see an issue. So if our full target draw weight was £40, we're pulling that to 40, we can see, oh, it's not symmetrical, we should stop. My suspicion is, of course, this bow was supposed to be nearer 60 or 70, in which case we're a bit short of draw weight, so we need to do something about it. I know it's not braced, I know the string's hanging down quite a long way. Difficult to know where to go from here. It's been a bit narrowed and rounded on the belly. I tend to leave everything, leave it wide, leave it square, leave it flat to start with. Have a look at it, get it basically moving right, then gradually shape it towards being a bow. Actually, I suppose if you lose... Right, stick it back on the tiller. This limb's stiff, this limb's weak. If we take 2 or 3 inches off that limb, that will move the centre of the bow to here. It will move more of the thicker wood to this side of the centre, and you've got a chance of maybe getting something out of it. I'll have a chat with the guy and see if he wants me to just see if I can knock it into some sort of rough shape. But I don't think it's ever going to be more than a, you know, a 40-pounder. But I think putting bamboo on the belly was a mistake, really, because you can't, well, it's not homogeneous. I don't know if that's hickory, it doesn't look like hickory to me. That looks more like some random hardwood out of B&Q. Don't know. I'll have a chat with the guy. But these things are always a learning exercise. And we all make bows that explode, don't we, boys and girls? Bang!